Hi everyone, I want to welcome you to our Creativity in Service webinar. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We have an excellent panel from all over the states, and I know in our audience we have folks from Colombia to Benin, so I want to say welcome to everyone. First thing I'd like you to do is if you look at the console, you'll see two handouts that you can download at any time. One is from Shift, it's a youth leadership blog post, and I'll be talking about Shift in a little bit, but that's managed by Sammy, who is doing our Twitter chat today. And it's an excellent blog on youth-led service that I think everybody would be interested in, so you can click on that and download it. And then I also went ahead and uploaded our Youth Changing the World Toolkit. Being a returned Peace Corps volunteer, this is my favorite resource we have at YSA. It takes you step by step through the process of organizing a youth service project, and so I wanted to make that available to you too. A little bit about me. The biggest thing in my life right now is I am a returned Peace Corps volunteer. I am a new dad. I'm also a returned Peace Corps volunteer who served in Thailand. The director of partnerships at YSA. I'm originally from Texas, so that's why I'll have a little bit of a accent here. My first love is teaching, and so I came to youth development being a school teacher in Texas. You can also see my email address there and my Skype handle and my Twitter handle there. I also wanted to go ahead and say too, if you look at the console, there's a place where you can type questions in. So as we go through the webinar here, we'll take some time at different times to ask some questions, and I'll answer them up here. And okay. So let me introduce you today to our panel. First, we have Marissa Hacker, who is from Voorhees Township in New Jersey. She is the CEO and founder of Fantastic Friends. The goal of Fantastic Friends is to give tweens and teens with special needs an opportunity to socialize, relax, have fun, and let their inner stars shine through. Check out her website there. And also check out her Twitter handle at FF Social Group. So, you know, we want you guys to use Twitter today. If you're on Twitter, feel free to tweet at Marissa, especially after today. If you have some questions, you want to follow up, that's a great place to go. That's a great way to do it. Our second speaker tonight is going to be Super Ewan. He created Super Ewan in Detroit, Michigan. Super Ewan devotes its energy to passionately advocating for the homeless, hungry, and less fortunate people of Metro Detroit. Again, you can check out his website there, and you can tweet at him at SuperEwan7. Our third panelist today is Rebecca Levy. She works here at YSA. She's the manager of our global partnerships. She was also a returned Peace Corps volunteer. And you can tweet at Rebecca Levy999. And then as I was saying earlier, we've got Sammy. She's the founder and president of Shift Scoliosis. You can see her website there. Sammy developed severe form of progressive scoliosis, and once she had surgery and was feeling better, she decided she was going to do something with her experience, and so she created Shift Scoliosis. It works to eliminate the challenges of spinal conditions, but it also provides education, trainings, and global outreach to the public. So like I said, we are running a live tweet today. So we'd love for you guys to participate in the Twitter chat. Sammy from Shift Scoliosis, they're the sponsor of the Twitter chat for this webinar. You can also use the hashtag GYSD. Use the hashtag to, ask questions, to do follow-up after the webinar. Also, again, feel free to ask questions in the question box up here. And of course, for Youth Service America, our Twitter handle is @YouthService. And again, for today, let's go ahead and use the hashtag hashtag GYSD. So before we get started, I wanted to go ahead and start with a poll. So I'm going to first of all launch this first poll here. All right. Choose the best answer that describes how you do your best creative brainstorming. Select one of the following: by yourself, with a team, on paper or computer, just thoughts, ideas in your head, or I don't brainstorm. Which one of these best describes how you take time to, think about how you want to be creative and do a project? All right. So we've got 68% have voted, 73, 75. We've got 40 seconds left. See, this is a great way to see if you're watching TV while on the webinar, or if you're with me here. We'll wait a couple more seconds here. 80%. So basically, 45% of you said you like to brainstorm with a team. 25% said you like to brainstorm by yourself. 18% said, you like to sit down, you like to write your thoughts out, or you want to use a computer. 12% said you just sit and you just think, just thoughts, ideas in your head, you let them run. And 0% said I don't brainstorm. So we've got a great audience today. Everybody here likes to brainstorm in some kind of way. All right. Cool. I'm double checking my screen to make sure I have it on. So I wanted to kind of go through and share some of my advice when thinking about how do we add creativity to our projects. The reason we wanted to do this webinar was because we at YSA are always learning about excellent projects. Young people all the time are giving us examples and showing us what they're doing. And so we thought, why don't we do a webinar where we just talk about people and how they're creative and how they add value to their project. And the main idea I hope that you guys get from this today is that you leave with it maybe a new idea, an example, a resource, a website, something so that next time you're planning a youth service project in your community, you've got another idea that you can, integrate into it. So I wanted to give you a few ideas that I've picked up over the years. So let's say you're doing a youth service project. One easy thing that you could do is organize a petition. So there may be some kind of law or something you might want changed in your community that's related to your project. So be thinking about how can we do a service project, but also how can we advocate? How can we change the way something's done so that this isn't a problem anymore? And one way to do that is to organize a petition. The other thing you could do is recruit new volunteers. So when you have a service project, you've got a lot of people there, right? And you're doing a project. And so let's say the project is you're cleaning up the local park. And the idea being that, well, what's going to happen 2 months from now after the summer? The park will need to be cleaned again. And so why not take the time to get people's phone numbers, email addresses, and get them together again and to continue the project after your day of service. And you could do this a lot of different ways. Maybe you're working with a nonprofit. Again, maybe you're wanting to recruit new volunteers to come to your nonprofit. So just be thinking about when you're doing a service project, engaging that group before they leave and taking advantage of that. Connected to this is also sharing information about your organization. You may have people show up to your project because they want to do something on that day that's important to them, like cleaning a park, but they may not know anything about your organization. So this is another great way to either collect email addresses, but also to have a pamphlet, have some information, put a table out so that you can visit with people as they come by to volunteer that day, and you can talk to them about their project. The other thing you can do is advocacy. Volunteers needed. Well, okay, sorry, I already said that one, so that's not good. The fifth one here I wanted to talk about was VIP and elected officials. One of the steps we talk a lot about when we talk about organizing a youth service project is taking advantage of the opportunity of inviting a VIP in the community, or an elected official, a school principal, someone that's maybe semi-famous in your community, and they can do a lot of different things. They can either come to your event and speak and volunteer, or you can use their social network to share messages about your project. So be thinking about when you're organizing your project, who can you invite? Who can you have come help, and who can help you get the word out? And the last one I wanted to talk about here is recognition. We talk a lot about this at YSA. Part of the mission at YSA is meaningful youth-led service. But we're also advocating for adults and communities. If you're going to try to solve a problem, you've got to include youth. I mean, we like to say youth are the leaders now, not in the future, but they're also 10 years from now, they're going to be the adults who are going to be the leaders in the community. So it's important that we take the time to recognize that the important place youth have in the community, and that we're working to foster and support them as they grow into community leaders. So having some type of recognition event at the end of a day of service is a great way to close it out, and even then to reflect on what you've done that day. Okay. Wanted to kind of look through some of the questions here. If we could maybe keep the questions associated to what the topic, and I'll try to get back to some of these. So Benoit, I see you have a lot of questions here, and I'll try to get back to you later. But what I'm trying to do is, if you had any questions about anything I covered here, that's what I'd want to cover now. All right, let's go to the next screen. All right. What I'd like to do now is introduce our first speaker. Hi, Marissa, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
All right. So, guys, Marissa, you are currently an NCAM ambassador with Youth Service America, right?
Yes, I was the NCAM New Jersey ambassador in 2013.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, well, I'm going to let you take it away, and let me know if you have any questions or problems as you go through your slides, okay?
Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, hi everybody, I hope you all are doing well. My name is Marissa Hacker. I'm the CEO and founder of Fantastic Friends, and like Chris said, I also was the Youth Service America NCAM Youth Ambassador of New Jersey in 2013 to 2014, and it's an amazing program. And what Youth Service America is doing for our youth, and with these webinars to teach people about service and get people involved, it's just amazing, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. So thank you to Youth Service America. All right, so Fantastic Friends. So we do monthly social events for tweens, teens, and young adults with special needs. And every month we pair our members with special needs with volunteers. And right now we have 3 chapters, but we're expanding nationally. So we're really excited to do that. And creativity, it really plays an important role in Fantastic Friends. And creativity is one of the main elements to making an organization succeed. It's not just a special needs cause. Creativity can be incorporated in every single cause in any way. As long as you use your brain and you come up with ways that make things different and make yourself stand out, you can make any organization or any group grow and expand and just impact so many people. So below is actually a picture from our prom. We had over 220 people that attended our prom. It's an event we do every year at the end of the year. And we make our prom themed every year. And that's one of the main ways we promote creativity and how we stand out from other organizations. Our prom was Candyland themed, and we had candy everywhere, and it was just amazing. Everything, it looked like being part of a Candyland. So that's one of the main things that we do. We incorporate creativity through our events that we do once a month, but we also incorporate creativity through how we market ourselves and how we reach out to volunteers. So, okay, Chris, next slide, please. Okay, so creativity is extremely important to all organizations. And why is this so? The first point is that creativity helps build an organization's identity. So how you stand out from other people and what you do differently from other organizations, that's how you establish an identity or a brand of your organization. Creativity also adds energy and fun to your project. So, I'm sure as you all know, there's many organizations out there, but take a second to think about the organizations that you are involved in. Many of you have been involved in multiple organizations and, relating to all different types of missions, but think about it. How many of you have been involved in a really exciting and fun and creative organization? And maybe some of you also, have been a part of a service project that maybe wasn't as creative or wasn't as fun or just didn't seem to have the element of creativity. So creativity really makes you stand out, and it makes you different from other organizations. And it really, like I said before, it establishes your identity, and it makes the project have so much energy, and it makes it come alive, and it makes the volunteers really want to be involved and take part in your mission. So remember that you are the one that sets the tone of your project. You can make it anything you want it to be. And I've noticed through Fantastic Friends and just observing rather other organizations that creativity is what draws people in. It's what engages your volunteers to come back to your events or come back to what type of service you guys do, and it keeps them coming back. And there's just so many ways you can be creative and just incorporate that, whether it's through the hands-on service or the marketing part of your project. There's so many ways you can find avenues to incorporate creativity. All right, next slide, please.
Hey, Marissa, before you go forward, I wanted to just kind of follow up on something I've always heard a lot about from the youth that we work with. Is it's so important to make a volunteer experience fun. It's got to be something that people want to that they want to come back and do. Can you talk about, are there other different types of things you try to include at an event that adds to that?
Definitely. So all of the events we do are fun. They're differently themed. So I'll give you an example as the prom. Everybody that comes, we all have a good time. We all dance together, and it's really just about making the volunteers feel welcomed and excited and ready to take on this project, because there's so many causes that can seem so serious or so just that causes that don't seem like they can be fun, but you can make anything fun. So definitely having fun at events and creating, and I'm going to talk about this in 2 slides, just about ways you can incorporate fun and creativity. Right. But there's just so many ways you can incorporate fun, and put yourself in a volunteer's shoes. What would you like to see as a volunteer? What would get you coming back to an event? What would make you have fun? Those are all really great things to think about when volunteering or working on your organization.
It's interesting because it's not something you always think about, right? Volunteerism. The one idea people have is that it's something that has to be that's serious, and usually the issue's serious. But I think for some people, do you find that it took you time to think about it in a different kind of way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you are incorporating creativity in any organization, you really have to think outside of the box. And rather, there's also a saying that, there is no box, you're the universe. And there's so many different, ways you can think things through and add elements of fun and creativity and excitement. You just have to be the one that can ultimately, deliver that and make that possible for volunteers. So yeah, there's ways for everything to make every project fun.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, I'll let you continue.
Okay. All right, so as you guys can see on this slide, boring versus exciting. So on the left side, we have, these are simulating social media posts. So we have on the left side, want to volunteer for Fantastic Friends, contact us at fantasticfriendssocialgroup@gmail.com. Great, so that's putting it out there. Do you want to volunteer? If you do, contact us. However, on the right side, we have a more exciting way of promoting volunteering. You know, one thing I always do, and this is I think this is one of my most valuable pieces of advice, it's that I always try to keep up with the latest trends on social media and through, you know, the music industry and through a bunch of different industries, because I like to, you know, play along with them. I like to promote Fantastic Friends on the same fun level that other, you know, businesses or other organizations or other trends are you know, using. So on the right, we have keep calm and volunteer for Fantastic Friends. And, you know, we made a cute little graphic for that. So, you know, which one catches your attention? What makes you feel excited? Does the post on the left side make you feel excited? You know, it's still a great post. It's very valid. It's giving information, but it's not as exciting as, you know, the post on the right side with the colors and the red and, you know, keep calm and volunteer for Fantastic Friends. We're using a trend there. So definitely when you're using social media, try to make yourself stand out from other organizations. Post pictures, use cool words, just find the latest trends. That, you know, that's definitely what we do, and that's how people, you know, become very engaged. They like to feel like, you know, we're keeping up on all of the latest trends and all of the latest, you know, things that people are saying and doing. So by doing that, you're creating a level of comfort for these people, for your volunteers, and two, you're creating the excitement, which is what you want, you know, to have for your volunteers. All right, so next slide, please. All right, so these are just some ways that I incorporate creativity in Fantastic Friends. So the first thing are the event names that we have. So the picture on the left is a picture of Fantastic Friends at a moon balanced place, and it was around Valentine's Day. So I came up with the idea of naming that particular event Jumping with Love. So that, you know, I always create new names for events and things that create, you know, something that draws people in. Jumping with Love. Oh, what's that? I want to check it out. You know, that's definitely something that volunteers would look into, and that's something that, you know, people are intrigued by, you know, different creative names. So that's definitely, you know, something that you can focus on, you know, if you're running an organization or if you're volunteering somewhere, just making a creative name for the function, whether it's, you know, a food drive or however small or however, you know, big it is, you can come up with a creative name. Secondly, our fun social media posts. So as you can see on the left, I wrote, friendenteering is fun, ha ha ha. We think we just came up with a new word. Wherefore art thou? Dictionary. Like, I don't know, like, I'm crazy. So I'm crazy. So like, I just post like the coolest things on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Just, you know, changing the tone of how you speak to people. I mean, you can still be professional, but you can also have an element of fun in your organization and how you market it to people. So just, you know, like I did, using fun words and engaging people, using humor, that's a huge aspect of creativity. Finding, you know, creative ways to be funny and promote what you're doing. It's just such a great way to get volunteers involved and to let people know what you're doing. And then lastly, on the bottom, which is the same picture from the first slide, it's our prom. Something we do every year, or actually, sorry, every event, we take a group picture. And what we do in our group pictures are, we put our hands up really, really high in the air. And that helps with the branding of our organization. That's, you know, how people know, oh, that's Fantastic Friends. They're the special needs group that puts their hands really high in the air, and they exert so much love and so much fun and just so much energy. And that's what, you know, sets us apart from other organizations. We have a very cool way of taking pictures, and that's kind of, you know, that's our thing. That's our cool little thing. So try to find, my suggestion to you guys is to try to find, you know, through social media, through you know, event names, and through maybe pictures or some other way where you can find a way you can incorporate creativity, go for it. Even, I know sometimes also feeling creative can be a little bit awkward too. It can feel awkward because, you know, sometimes people can feel like, oh, you know, is this gonna, are people going to understand this, or are people going to think this is weird? Honestly, you just have to own it, and, you know, every organization is different, and, you know, you can incorporate creativity in any way you know, think possible, so go for it. be as creative as you want, and it'll definitely help you guys, reach more people and get more volunteers involved. All right.
Hi, Marissa. A real quick question here too. This idea of it's sometimes you may not feel creative or it may not be your thing. Do you work with a group of friends in your organization? Like maybe there's someone in your group that's really good at social media, or who's really creative with it, or they're good with art, so they can create that graphic you had earlier. How important is it for you to like learn about what the people around you are good at and getting them in a position to be creative?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with me, I do most of like the graphics and everything, but I am going to be getting a social media person soon. But just, for everybody, I mean, yeah, see who's out there that can help you guys with that stuff. I mean, it's so important, and it's just it's so fun. It adds so much energy and fun to the organization. So, if you feel like you're not so good with being creative, or you feel that you don't have the brain for it, which you all do, but I know it comes out at certain points. Just find someone that is creative, and find someone that that has so many ideas, and is good at things that you might need help with. Okay, so get creative. Use creativity to make your organization special and stand out. So obviously use social media. That's, honestly, that's the biggest outlet for creativity. It's promoting on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest even, all the other social media apps are great. Your marketing materials, your flyers, your pamphlets, and also the names of your events. And also, colors capture people's attention. So as you can see, I'm sure you've, on this Fantastic Friends logo, we have colors everywhere. And colors are really what make things stand out. So, if you're creating a flyer, or if you're in the process of creating a logo, or if you're, creating some type of marketing material, or really even for social media as well, make sure you have color. That's really what grabs people's attention, and it's what makes the organization have energy and fun. So those are definitely 3 great tools to use to, for creativity. All right, next slide, please. All right, so I want you all to stay connected with me. I'm all over social media. I have my Facebook page, I have my Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and I love seeing all the projects that you guys are doing. I just want to say, on a personal note, it really takes very courageous and special people to start an organization, or to volunteer, or just be involved in service. It's really just such a beautiful it's just such a beautiful part of life, really, and people that do this are very special, and you can inspire so many people to also join you in your project or your organization as well. So it's just really beautiful, and I'm so happy. Thank you to Youth Service America for allowing me to share my ideas, and also for letting me, share, how I can help you guys. And if you have questions after this webinar, please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, or by email, or on Twitter. Also, just want to say that we're actually building our national website for Fantastic Friends right now, so that link to our website is not working. We are running primarily on Facebook and email. So if you have any questions, or want to stay in touch, or have something you want to share with me, please feel free to contact me through the Facebook page or email. That'd be great. So yeah, thank you guys so much. This is a great webinar, and I'm looking forward to listening to the other panelists.
Hey, Marissa, we've got just a really good question here I wanted to throw at you and see. This is from Ryan Trainer. He asked, how did you fund and set up your nonprofit? The nonprofit my group is associated with, a library foundation, is limiting the types of projects we'd like to conduct. It would be so much easier if we had our own nonprofit entity.
Definitely. So how I started Fantastic Friends was I collected donations from the community. That's how I actually started the organization back in 2011. And eventually, 2 years later, we became fiscally sponsored by our Jewish Community Foundation of Southern New Jersey. And they're the ones that hold our 501c3 status right now. And, we can get donations through that. And we've had fundraisers, so and also the NCAM grant I got also really helped with funding the program. So it's really there. You can't just fund your organization one way. You have to find multiple outlets for funding. You can apply for the NCAM Ambassador Program, which is great, and they, teach you how to run an organization, and they give you very, very helpful ideas and everything. You can do that. You can, find other grants that are available to apply for that can help fund it. You can have fundraisers. You can collect general donations. So there's many ways that you can fund an organization. You just have to find outlets. You have to really do the research and find ways where you can make money from multiple sources.
I'll just go ahead and jump in here too, that if you might want to check out ysa.org/grants. We have small planning grants for youth and organizations open throughout the year. And you might also want to go to ysa.org and create a profile and sign up for the youth service briefing. We always have, if it's not a grant from our organization, our resource, we also have a lot of different partners, and we like to share their opportunities that way too, Ryan, and that might be a way for you to find some different funding sources. Well, Marissa, this has been great. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you don't mind, if you could stick around and maybe do some tweeting. Again, if you want to tweet, right, Marissa, at you, it's at FF Social Group. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Definitely.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
The next thing I want to do is I want to open up our second poll. That is All right, in which of the following ways have you engaged others creatively in your service project? You can go ahead and select one or more of these that you've used. All right, 40%, 45% have voted. So far, 92% have talked about recruited other youth to participate. 11% have created a petition. About 60% you guys have advocated for an issue. 48% have invited and engaged elected officials. And 69% of you have done some kind of recognition of youth and our partners. So it looks like the one area that you might want to look at is creating a petition and engaging elected officials. But otherwise, it looks like well over 50% of you have engaged the other three means of recruiting youth, advocating for an issue, and recognizing youth and partners. Okay, we have a special treat. We have Super Ewan from Detroit, Michigan. Let me get you unmuted there. Ewan, are you there, buddy?
Yep.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away, okay?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Ewan, and I've started a nonprofit organization called Super Ewan. We focus on providing not only food, clothing, and basic necessities to those in need, but also compassion and understanding that everyone is human, everyone has a story, and that everyone matters.
Next slide.
Last year, while visiting Detroit for dinner with my family, I noticed people on the freeway ramps holding signs asking for help, and that made me sad. I wanted to do something for those people, so I told my parents, when I'm a teenager, I would like to dress up like a superhero and take them food, clothes, and coats. My parents told me that I did not have to wait and that we could start now. Within a few months, we started Super Ewan Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit organization In over a year, my family and I, along with some friends and volunteers, have helped thousands of men, women, and children at our monthly adventures.
Next slide. There you go.
I've had some pretty amazing experiences from starting Superhuman, one of which was being invited to the White House. During the first 8 months of our adventures, my father and I would shoot video and take pictures to document all our progress. In January, we came across a post on the YSA website about 2015 White House Student Film Festival and decided to enter, thinking it would be a great way to spread awareness. Much to our surprise, my video was selected as one of the finalists along with 14 others, and we were invited to the White House in recognition of our short films about making a difference. I was able to meet the President of the United States of America, several celebrities, and other amazing young people who are doing extraordinary things to make the world a better place. There's a link to my video there, or you can watch my video on my YouTube channel.
Next slide. Sorry, you got to hit it a couple times. There you go.
Along with our regular adventures, we've had some pretty cool special events, like fundraisers, Superhuman adventures, collaborations, and trips. In March, we had our first Skate for Hope fundraiser, in which all proceeds went to helping our super friends. And we've even had a raffle. All raffle prizes were donated by the local businesses. In April, we participated in the Global Youth Service Day. We partnered with the Aspect Foundation Student Exchange Program to bring over 100 bags of hope to the less fortunate. This adventure was special in that it represented 10 different countries. In May, we had our Superhuman adventure where we partnered with the local Metro Detroit radio station, volunteer organizations, and grocery store to bring food, clothes, and toiletries, and even free haircuts to over 200 people. In June, we had a cannon bottom drive and collected over $300, which was used to provide items for our adventures. In July, we were invited to attend the Film One Festival in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. The short film that got me to the White House was selected as a winner of the Future Filmmaker Award. It was great. It was a great way to spread our message and create awareness for our cause. In September, we had the amazing honor of helping one of our super friends get into his new apartment. We helped stock his shelves with food, cleaning supplies, and toiletries. This month, we are having a Super Socktober sock drive. Our goal is to collect 1,000 pairs of socks to distribute to our super friends. We've established 5 drop-off locations at local businesses and have set up an Amazon wish list so that people can purchase and donate online. This year, we have also had food drives at my school. Each class would collect non-perishable food items for a month, and the class collected the most would win a pizza party. Last November, our local Cub Scouts collected and delivered over 200 pounds of food to our Super Friends.
You probably have to hit it a couple times.
Yeah, I'm learning.
We are always looking for fun and creative ways to raise awareness, generate funds, and better lives, and better the lives of those who we've come to know as our Super Friends. Things such as raffle prizes away during events. We've done this during our coat drive and our Skate for Hope. Welcoming other groups, organizations, and nonprofits to participate in our adventures. Networking with other nonprofits that have the same passion for helping as we do. It's a greater way to share ideas and spread your message. And just recently, we started offering sponsorship communities opportunities to family, friends, and businesses. This is a great way to get some much needed larger items that we would normally never receive as donations. When we think creatively, we generate more opportunities for people of all ages to make a difference. Remember, we can all be a superhero to someone. Thank you all for allowing me to speak today, and please feel free to follow all of our adventures at www.superun.com or check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Super You. And what we wanted to do now, if that's okay, is we wanted to go ahead and show the video that you, I think you ended up showing at the White House, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me. I think I lost the link.
It's at the bottom of one of the slides. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I think I'm on that now.
We hear it.
That's, yep. Let me do one thing here. We're going to make this work. All right. Okay, so if you're just coming back on and joining us, this is the video Super Ewan put together and ended up showing at the White House, and he was recognized for. And we wanted to show it because we think it's a great example of being creative and using video to tell your story, to recognize your partners and the people you're working with. So it's really cool. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Ewan and I'm 8 years old. Last spring I had the idea to dress up like a superhero and help the homeless. My parents and grandparents liked that idea and helped me become Superhero! In July, we started our first adventure at Roosevelt Park in Detroit. We handed out lunches and water. Once our friends and family learned about our adventures, they started to donate toiletries, bedding, clothes, and food. Because Super UN Inc. is a 501c3, all donations are tax deductible. We receive so many donations now, we're able to do 2 adventures each month. I'm also making a difference in my friends and family's lives by setting a good example and inviting them to help. I know I'm making a difference when my super friends smile and give me fist bumps. We can all be a superhero to someone. I'm making a difference by being a hero to Detroit's needy. How can you make a difference?
All right. James, any comments about putting that together? Any advice you guys have for other parents, either using video or anything in general?
What does we start with me mean to you?
How we put the world together.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's important. We think it's important to document what you're doing, just so you can keep an archive of what you've done and how you're progressing. And that was our thoughts when we started doing that. And like Ewan said, that we were on the Youth Service America website, and we come across the post about the White House Student Film Festival, and just by chance, and we entered, and not thinking that anything would come of it, and we were pretty shocked when it came about that we were selected.
It's amazing. Did you edit it yourself?
Yeah, Ewan helped a little. He did the voiceover. He shot a little bit of the footage.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in video production professionally, so yeah, it didn't take too long. The most time-consuming part was the 8 to 9 months it took to shoot the random footage that we used.
Sure. Well, it's amazing, and we're really happy we were able to make that be a part of that connection.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if anyone wants to get in touch with Super Ewan here, it's his Twitter tag is @SuperEwan7. And Ewan, thanks a lot for hanging out with us tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but you handled it well, man.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
So we're going to move right along to our own Rebecca Levy, who's going to talk about her experience working in the Peace Corps and other experience she has organizing community service projects.
Thanks, Chris. Hi guys, my name is Rebecca. Like Chris says, I'm the current manager of global partnerships here at YSA. I've been at YSA now for about 3 months, and before that I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Morocco. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience here at YSA and also my work in Morocco. I want to share some best practices I have learned when starting a new service project and trying to make a change in your community. So first off, since we're talking about creativity today, when you're trying to think creatively about your project, it's important to first think about your personal interests, and then second, think about your community needs. If you start off with brainstorming, kind of like that cool poll question we did before, I suggest some things like using a mind map, brainstorm in a group or by yourself, make lists, or jot notes down on pen and paper. most importantly, it's really important just to do whatever is best for you. If you're more of a pen and paper person, do that. If you like working in teams, do that. It's important to get lots of ideas on the table to truly find a creative solution. Then once you have all those ideas out there, think about both your interests and your community needs as you narrow down your focus. By focusing on these two elements, not only will you be more passionate and dedicated to your project, but so will your community. Next slide. Some examples today I wanted to talk with you all about is my past work while I was in Morocco. I used a lot of creativity while I was there. I didn't have much access to technology. I was alone in a small village, and I really got to think outside the box when I was doing projects. I worked with an artisanal dagger cooperative during my 2 years in my community, and one project the cooperative asked me to help them with was creating a new website. First, I used an inexpensive platform of GoDaddy.com for both web hosting to create the URL. I was able to get www.moroccandaggers.com, and also GoDaddy helps you with web design. While creating the website, I worked closely with the artisans to get their feedback and incorporate their personal stories into the site. One expertise that I didn't have, however, was being a videographer. So I found a local youth who was passionate about filming, and he volunteered his time to create a short 2-minute video about the cooperative. My key advice for you is use your network, your team, and your friends to volunteer and add their creative talents to the project. There might be something you're not good at, but there's a good chance someone else is. Next slide.
I think.
Sorry about that, guys. So right now I'm working at YSA, and being on a small team, I luckily get to be creative every day at the job. For our new 2016 Global Youth Council that we just launched this month, it gave me the opportunity to do some design work on the side. I use Lucid Press, which I would recommend you all checking out. It's kind of coined as a design tool for everyone, to help highlight the 16 amazing Youth Council members we will be working with this year. You can see the graphic that I created on the left. Additionally, you can make your projects more creative by connecting them to current events or issues around the world. One new issue that we are excited about here at YSA are the new UN Sustainable Development Goals, or known as the SDGs. The new goals, ratified last month, replace the old MDGs and are an exciting global framework that every country around the world will be held accountable to. We are working on incorporating the SDGs into our youth service work here at YSA. To wrap up, you can be more successful in implementing creativity when working with others and leveraging their skills, talents, and networks. Next slide. And so some of my key suggestions, like I said, are really use other people around me, around you and around me. I use a lot of cool free online tools. The technology is a pretty great place that we have access to, and help use these to create good graphics, better websites, and improve your marketing and communication efforts. Always ask for youth advice, especially if you're an educator or an organization. They have the best and the freshest ideas out there. Also, remember to brainstorm and think of lots of ideas. Sometimes those last-minute ideas will be your best ones. And as one author wisely said, creativity has been said consists largely of rearranging what we know in order to find out what we do not know. Hence, to think creatively, we must be able to look afresh at what we normally take for granted. Thanks so much.
Excellent, excellent. So to wrap up here, guys, I wanted to point out, if you go to gysd.org/causes, if you're looking for ideas about projects, we have them divided into the 6 issue areas here. As Rebecca said, we're also doing a focus on the Sustainable Development Goals, so at some point we'll probably have this part of the website based on the SDGs. But for right now, if you wanted to do a community building or environment project, you could go to gysd.org/causes. You could click environment, or you could, let's say you clicked health, and then we would have different examples of projects. So here's one called Host a Sports Equipment Drive. So it's just an example of a real life example of an organization, a group of young people hosting a sports equipment drive. And then on the right hand side, you can see organizations that can help. So these organizations are experts in health. So it's also a great way to go to their website and see if you can get some ideas there. You know, we've talked a lot about, especially with Marissa, and creativity. You know, one thing is to use the people around you to know, especially if someone has a talent or a passion, knowing how to leverage that and get them involved. The other way is to look around you. So see what other projects have been done. That will also help you start thinking about what you might want to do in your community, or give you different ideas. So definitely go to gysd.org/causes, and you'll be able to find some different examples and organizations to help you get the creative juices flowing. The other thing I wanted to quickly bring up from last week is the 4 different types of projects. So when you're thinking about your project, you can do an awareness project, a service project, an advocacy project, or a philanthropy project. These are 4 different types of projects, and so it may give you another way of looking at your issue area and a different way of doing a project that you didn't think of. Last but not least, also is the Youth Changing the World Toolkit, where we also talk about the ASAP strategy. You can also, again, if you look at the console to your right, you can download that for free. You can also go to www.ysa.org/resources and download Youth Changing the World Toolkit for free as a PDF. And last but not least, feel free to download for yourself a Creativity Webinar Certificate to recognize your participation in the webinar today. And we also put together a badge. So if you'd like to download the badge, you can go to that link there. Tomorrow I will send to everyone who's registered for the webinar the slides to the webinar, and then probably later in the week, next week, I will send a YouTube video. All right, and last but not least, our next webinar is going to be Thursday, November 19th. We're going to focus on the 4 C's. Creative, critical thinking, collaboration, and communications. It's going to be hosted by our Senior Director of Education, Scott Gansky. And if you're registered for this, you're automatically registered for the next webinar. But you know, please share the link with folks in your network. Thank you again for being a part of the webinar today. We'll see you again November 19th.